one justice, a simple plea. That's what we need.
Welcome to the Fresh Toones Show. My name is Dave Pultz, and today on the Fresh Toones Show, we'll be celebrating the Juneteenth holiday. Well, I think as a nation we can be pretty happy and actually celebrate that on June 19th, 1865, that the last slaves in Texas were finally freed more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, it took quite a while to get everything straightened out, but I guess we should celebrate that we finally were able to throw off the shackles of slavery as a nation and live out some of the things in the Declaration of Independence. But unfortunately, more than 150 years later, the struggle against racial discrimination in voting remains. This issue has once again reared its ugly head, but I think we'll figure it out. I hope we figure it out. I guess if the majority of Americans get out there, stand up, go out on the streets like people are going to go out on the streets this Sunday for No Kings protest, I'm hopeful that we can get back on the right track. As Martin Luther King famously said, "One of these days I'm going to put my body where my mind is." I guess it must have been in his early protest days. It was a direct challenge against passive thinking. It emphasized the importance of actively living out our deepest beliefs. I guess we just got to figure out what those beliefs are and then actively start living them out. This song of mine is called "One of These Days." One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, we're gonna sit right up and say, we're gonna find it in our hearts to let our love do its part. One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, justice will prevail. When we can march for rights without the threat of jail. When we can sing it from our hearts and know it's just the start. One of these days, justice will prevail. One of these days, there's gonna be a fair wage. If we work hard, we should get a decent pay. They say what we're not worth, but we work hard for what we earn. One of these days, we're gonna get a fair wage. One of these days, we're gonna see the sun come out. Realize the fruits that so long we did without. We're gonna fill those baskets full and share them, yes we will. One of these days, we're gonna see the sun come out. One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, we're gonna sit right up and say, we're gonna find it in our hearts to let our love do its part. One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, we're
gonna find a better way.
Yeah, it's certainly been a long road trying to get social justice established in our country, and we're still working on it. I just finished up a Great Courses lecture series, a college course on the Founding Fathers, which I was hesitant to get into, but I watched different lectures every morning when I'm exercising, and I said, well, I'll check it out. I wasn't too much into glorifying these Founding Fathers. They certainly had many flaws, even though some of the things they wrote had some very big ideas, things that we can aspire towards. In the end, the lectures were more about the struggle that was going on and their little part that they happened to play in it. But this whole struggle of trying to make this country and bring these states together, and what a struggle that was. One of the interesting things I came across in one of the chapters was something that James Madison said about emancipation and slavery. And it wasn't until 1829, and I think he probably had slaves before that. But he started to realize some things that have evolved in our country. So I thought maybe I'll share that little segment of a lecture about what James Madison had to say about emancipation way back in 1829. Pretty interesting stuff. So I'll share it with you now.
Madison took the opportunity to ask for a correction to the one great oversight of the summer of 1787, and that concerns slavery. One of the principal reasons for convening a state constitutional convention in 1829 was to look hard at the possibility, somehow, of emancipating Virginia's slaves. And without actually using the word emancipation, he made a surprising and eloquent plea to the convention on behalf of the slaves. It is due to justice, due to humanity, due to truth, to the sympathies of our nature, in fine, to our character as a people, both abroad and at home, that they should be considered as much as possible in the light of human beings and not as mere property. If they had the complexion of the serfs in the north of Europe, or the villeins formerly in England, in other terms, if they were of our own complexion, much of the difficulty would be removed. But the mere circumstance of complexion cannot deprive them of the character of men. Emancipation was the one remaining stone that would complete the wonderful edifice of liberty, Madison asserted. Other nations are surprised at nothing so much as our having been able to form constitutions in the manner which has been exemplified in this country. Even the union of so many states is, in the eyes of the world, a miracle. If Americans had been able to do so much so quickly, then Madison was confident that, even without a miracle, we shall be able to arrange all difficulties. I have now more than a hope, a consoling confidence that we shall at last find that our labors have not been in vain.
Well, on this Juneteenth holiday, I guess it's a good idea to look at our history and appreciate how far we've come and some of the things that had to be overcome to get here. There may be some folks that want to live in the past. We can move forward and good things can happen. This fresh tune is called Don't Live in the Past.
Don't live in the past, but learn from the good and see what was bad. Don't deny what you saw. As a child, what was wrong? What went on for too long? Live from what you've learned.
Very sad news for all
Fight
of you.
for your concern.
That is that
When wrong
Martin Luther
seeks to
King was shot and was
return.
killed tonight. Remember that.
Some strive to live in the past, but that can never last. Life goes forward, not back. Now take me up the road, that's where I want to go, where we can someday know that love's the only way to go. Help us on our way, let us never stray from the path that we've chose to share the love as she grows. Lift up your love, let it become your number one until you're done. Smile because you know your love is gold. Without her glow, where would you go? Take me up the road, that's where I want to go, where we can someday know that love's the only way to go. Help us on our way, let us never stray from the path that we've chose to share the love as she grows. She grows.
You're listening to The Fresh Toones Show right here on Rochester Free Radio, WRFZ 106.3 FM. And today on The Fresh Toones Show, we're recognizing the Juneteenth holiday, been looking back at history a little bit, been appreciating the great changes that have come about, emancipation being one of the greatest one. And that's what the focus of Juneteenth is. So I think it's a really good thing that our nation celebrates it. One of the strongest advocates for voting rights was John Lewis. He died a few years back, but recently I made a mini documentary about his life, and I thought on this holiday today it'd be a good day to share it on the show. And here's the short documentary I made about John Lewis's life.
Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day.
And today's show is one of my inspirational live shows dedicated to John Lewis. He's certainly an American icon, and his history of fighting for civil rights goes back to the 1950s. And today I want to draw some attention to the struggles that he was involved with. And John Lewis was quite a lighthearted guy sometimes, and he would often tell his stories, especially when he was campaigning, of when he was a kid, and he always wanted to be a preacher. So he'd practice with the chickens that they had on his farm, and he'd preach away, and telling them the stories of the Bible. It got to a point where his assistants that worked with him throughout the years in Congress would start to laugh when he'd start telling that story to a new audience. It's probably a good place to begin his story, a youngster preaching to the farm animals. Well, John Lewis was a very dedicated student. The only problem was growing up in a farm in the South, there were times when there was planting and harvesting. His father would expect him to be in the fields helping and told him he wouldn't be able to go to school. Well, John was a little quick on his feet, and he'd hide under the porch until the school bus came by, and when it stopped, he'd run out there and jump on and get to school and learn as much as he could. By the time he was a freshman in high school, a decision from the Supreme Court came down, and that's when the Supreme Court handed down their decision about school desegregation. And John was pretty excited. This decision that said the doctrine of separate but equal was unconstitutional. Well, John thought, oh, this is going to be great. He's going to go to a state-of-the-art school and ride a state-of-the-art bus, and things are going to really improve now that he could go to a regular high school and not one that was segregated. Well, little did he know this wasn't going to happen overnight. And often things don't. I must share with you a lot of the information that I'm sharing with you today came from John Lewis's book called The March. And there's actually 3 graphic novel books, and they're really pretty good. You should check them out. It's called March. In 1959, John Lewis was involved with the lunch counter protest in Nashville. And after he attended some nonviolent training sessions, they took it upon themselves to integrate the lunch counters in Nashville. It wasn't a pretty sight, and it was a tough go. But even in those days, I think John Lewis believed that one of these days things are going to get better if we put our minds to it, and if we can convince others that this was the just thing to do. Then he believed that one day segregation would no longer be the policies throughout the South and even in the North. One of the early things that he took part in was as a member of the Freedom Riders, and certainly their lives were at risk a number of times. I'm sure that some of those moments when he was curled up and being beaten, times when he had to convince himself that as scary as it is, I need to do it, I need to be a part of this group that's trying to change things. In the summer of 1963, John Lewis, he had an opportunity to speak just before Martin Luther King during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. One of the major opportunities that he had to share his ideas and what the people marching for civil rights were trying to do. I'd just like to say thank you to all those folks for all their efforts that they made to bring justice and bring about some change. Well, there's just so much to John Lewis's life that I'm not even going to be able to hit on today. I certainly don't want to forget to mention the march from Selma to Montgomery in 1965, where he was almost beaten to death as they tried to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But he survived that, damaged pretty severely, but he survived that and later ran for Congress and served there almost 34 years in the House of Representatives. Well, John Lewis realized the importance of having a vote that meant something, that wasn't diminished by the way something might be gerrymandered or identification might kind of force certain people to make it very difficult to vote. This is a quote of his. "The vote is precious. It's almost sacred. It's the most powerful nonviolent tool we have in a democracy." I think this next song of mine tries to get out there how un-American it is to try to take away people's vote or try to make it worthless. The song is called "The Un-American American."
Un-American, American. Un-American, American. The un-American American will try to rob your vote. The un-American American will try to oppress your voice. The un-American American will try to squash your dignity. But freedom-loving people will never let this be. 'Cause we're gonna sing, we're gonna fight for however long it takes. 'Cause freedom stems from our love, not from hate. The un-American American will close your polling sites. The un-American American will keep you in line all night. The un-American American will find so many ways to bury your vote, but we won't let this stay. 'Cause we're gonna sing, we're gonna fight for however long it
takes. 'Cause freedom stems from our love, not from hate. The un-American doesn't believe in democracy. The un-American wears their flag pin on their sleeve. The un-American wants to end one person, one vote. But all together now we're gonna raise our voice. We're gonna sing, we're gonna fight for however long it takes. 'Cause freedom stems from our love, not from hate. We're gonna sing, we're gonna fight for however long it takes. 'Cause freedom stems from our love, not from hate, not from hate, not from hate. Hey, if you can relate to anything that you hear on Dave's Fresh Tunes, just click on the like button. And if you really want other folks to hear about Fresh Tunes, you might consider subscribing. It's free, and both of these things will increase the chance that more people will hear the Fresh Tunes, and I really appreciate it, so thanks. Well, time is getting short here on the Fresh Toones Show today, and I've got two songs that I want to get in today. One of them's called Do the Ruby Walk, and the other's called One Justice, that I played a little segment of to open the show. Do the Ruby Walk is dedicated to Ruby Bridges, and it shares her story, and it hopefully encourages us to all do the Ruby Walk. Ruby walked at age of 6. She could not grasp the hateful speech. 1960, that was the year for Marshall's kept Ruby near. 'Cause Ruby walked, yeah, Ruby walked. Doll baby black and coffin held in effigy their prayers to be. More than 60 years have passed. Now Ruby's truth erased from class, but still Ruby walks. Yeah, Ruby walks. Each one should ask, where do we stand? No cover left, let's take Ruby's hand. 'Cause cross the bridge that lies ahead to share our tears and walk with love. Let's do the Ruby walk. Yeah, let's do the Ruby walk. Ruby walk. Yeah, the Ruby walk. Take the Ruby's hand and do the Ruby walk. Yeah, the Ruby walk. Yeah, let's do the Ruby walk. Let's do the Ruby walk. We might not all be able to do the Ruby walk, but if we do what we can, things will get better. To wrap up today's celebration for Juneteenth, I'm going to play this song called One Justice. It's a hopeful song that one day we can have one justice for everybody. Where's the sun when we need her?
rain. Hope seems defeated. Her golden nimbus looks sadly rusted. We seek some solace. We seek one justice. One justice. A simple plea. That's what we need. We crossed one river and rang the bell, but there's 9 rivers in a loveless hell. We need to fight our way upstream to flip the nightmares into dreams. One justice, a simple plea. That's what we need. It's love we seek in her warm embrace. The sun hides not her lavish grace. If the sun we cannot see, look in your heart for love, and there she'll be. One justice, a simple plea. That's what we need. One justice, a simple plea. That's what we need.
And that's it for the Fresh Toones Show this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Do some creative stuff. Get out on the street and demonstrate if you need to. More power to you. Take care now. Bye.
One of these days, we're gonna find a better way. One of these days, we're gonna sit right up and say, we're gonna find it in our hearts to let our love do its part. One of these days we're gonna find a better way.